What's up, YouTubers? This is your boy Big Ninja Fan 12 coming to you with another video game review. And in this review, I'm going to talk about the game Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Fighting, which was released in the arcade and later ported to the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis by Capcom. And this is pretty much the third game in the Street Fighter 2 franchise. And this game pretty much introduced faster playing speed and new special moves to specific characters. Now, pretty much the plot of the game pretty much remained the same. You have 8 characters who pretty much enter the tournament for different reasons. You know what I'm saying? And they want to be the champion of the Street Fighting circuit, so they have to take on 4 grandmasters: Byron, Vega, Sega, and Bison. Now, you can pretty much play as the original 8 characters. You know what I'm saying? Ryu, Ken, Gao, Chun-Li, um, Saint Chief, Tahin, and Blanca. But you can also play as the 4 grandmasters: Byron, Vega, Sagan, and Bison, like Street Fighter 2 Champion Edition. Now, the modes in the game are Turbo, Normal, and Option. Now, the Turbo mode and the normal mode has the single player mode and the 2 player co-op. You know what I'm saying? Now, with the main difference between the normal mode and the turbo mode, especially with the single player, is pretty much the turbo mode has is pretty much faster and harder. You know what I'm saying? It starts off with pretty much 3 stars to indicate it's fast and pretty much hard. You know what I'm saying? So it's pretty much normal. But you can switch it between 0 stars and 4 stars. 0 being the easiest and slowest, with the 4 star being the hardest and the fastest. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, the turbo mode pretty much play is the normal mode. You know what I'm saying? Now you could pick a specific character, whether it's Blanca or Chun-Li, and the order in which you face the first like 7 characters, is depending on which character you pick. You know what I'm saying? Like if you pick like Ken or Honda, the first opponent is going to be Saint Chief. But if you pick Saint Chief, for example, you're going to face off against somebody else as the first opponent. You know what I'm saying? And after you beat the 7 other characters, you face off against the Grandmasters. And once you beat M. Bison, you will get pretty much a cutscene. And the cutscene is it's really depending on the character that you pick. You know what I'm saying? Much like your first opponent. You know what I'm saying? Um, the 3 bonus stages pretty much make a return. The first bonus is destroying a car, then you destroy the brick wall, and then you destroy a certain number of barrels in the final bonus stage and stuff like that. There was like pretty much one addition from overall standpoint, and it has to do with the fact that the characters like Ken, Gao, Chun-Li, Blanca, Ryu, and the rest have pretty much different color palettes, and the color palette is chosen for you when you pick one of the characters. So like if you pick Chun-Li, her outfit could be gray, red, or blue, or some other color. You know. Now, with the graphics and design, they're pretty good, and it has pretty much an excellent color palette from overall standpoint. And I do like the fact that the characters have extra color palettes in the games and stuff like that. Now the controls and gameplay are pretty good and fluent, you know what I'm saying? Plus I like the fact that the extra special moves are a nice touch to certain characters, you know what I'm saying? Like for example, Chun-Li has a projectile which is like a short one, you know what I'm saying, compared to say the Hadouken by for Ken and Ryu and stuff like that, and the Yoga Fire for Dahin and stuff like that. Now, soundtrack is pretty good, you know what I'm saying, even though there were no additional tunes that was added to it, you know what I'm saying. So, but it's but the soundtrack is I guess the best part of the game. Some people might say it's the graphics, some might say it's the controls and stuff like that. But I like the soundtrack and everything. Uh, I can say that Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Fighting does have a slightly higher replay value um, in the previous two games with the Turbo mode. You know what I'm saying? And it's pretty much a must-have game if you're a fan of the Street Fighter series, or you're a fan of the fighting genre from a general standpoint, or you're a retro gamer. You know what I'm saying? Regardless if you own a Super Nintendo or Genesis or anything like that, you know. As far as the score, I definitely give it an 8 out of 10. It's pretty good, but and there were no significant additions outside the turbo mode, in my opinion. You know, with that being said, sound off in the comment section about Street Fighter 2 Turbo Hyper Fighting. Do you like it? You know what I'm saying? What character do you use in this particular game, and all that. Now, if you like this game, if you like this video about Street Fighter 2 Turbo Fight Hyper Fighting, click the thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification button. This is your boy Big Measure Friend 12 signing off.